Hey, what is going on, guys? Organized7 here, back again with another YouTube video, and today we're starting a brand new thing on the channel where, back in the day, I used to make news times whenever, zero schedule whatsoever, just like, I had no schedule, like, I literally just post news times wherever I want. Now, starting every Saturday, I'm going to try and make it as consistent as possible. I'm going to post news times from all the news that has happened over the past week, so that goes for literally everything. Now, this goes for injuries, trades, signings, suspensions, loans, or any other news that pertains to the NHL that's happened in the past week. This could be a bit of a lengthy video, so I'll make sure to stick around for the ride. Now, we're going to get into the injuries first, because obviously with every single column, the injuries are going to be the biggest thing. So we have a lot of injuries to discuss here. Starting off with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mitch Marner is out 3 to 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. Travis Dermott is also out with a shoulder injury. Then we move on to Winnipeg here. Neil Pionk was placed on concussion protocol due to the hit he suffered against the Leafs in that big game. It resulted in a lot of injuries. Moving on to some Montreal news. Montreal's Carrie will not play a game until after Christmas. Obviously, that's pretty rough for the Canadiens. They're already going through a lot right now. Montreal's Tyler Toffoli is also out 8 weeks after getting shoulder surgery. So it's a rough time to be a Montreal fan. As well with the Toronto news, Toronto's Sandin is out 3 to 4 weeks with a lower body injury. Moving on to Buffalo, Casey Middlestad's injury could be long-term, which obviously is not good for the Sabres at all. Moving on to Pittsburgh here, this is really bad news for just a lofty Pittsburgh injured team. Jake Guentzel is week to week with a UBI. That's a problem, a huge problem. Getzel's really stepped up this season for the Penguins. He had such a great week the last week and the week before, and now that he's injured, it doesn't get better for the Pens. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So somebody else is going to have to step up now. Ville Husso and Jake Wallman have been injured. They joined the big list of St. Louis Blues players who are currently injured. Also, as well as that, starter goaltender Jordan Binnington's also injured. So right now you're looking at a Charlie Lindgren, John Gillies tandem for St. Louis right now. So it is rough right now in St. Louis. Moving on here, New Jersey Devils goaltender Jonathan Bernier is out 1 week with a UBI. Edmonton's Chris Russell is out 1 week with a UBI. The Canucks defenseman Travis Hamonic, who's faced some controversy this season, is out 2 to 3 weeks with a lower body injury. Colorado's Ryan Murray is going to miss quote-unquote months with a back injury. It doesn't even tell us how many months he's going to miss. It just says he's going to miss months. So I would imagine his contract does get put on LTIR. Chicago's Adam Boqvist is out 1 week with UBI, which is unfortunate. Boqvist has been rolling for the Blue Jackets lately. Ottawa's Matt Murray is out with the UBI as well. Blake Wheeler is out for a while, not even out for a timeable period with a knee injury, so that's rough for Winnipeg as well. He just played his 1,000th game too, so that's you hate to see that. Ben Bishop has been placed on LTIR. I've been asked, when is Bishop coming back? Bishop, I feel like, has been injured for 2 years. Bishop, it might be time. You're looking at a Brian Little, Oscar Klefblom situation there. I relate him to those two guys. Honestly, we could see a retirement announcement get announced from him pretty soon. It's just been rough for Bishop lately with his injuries. And, I mean, the way he plays goaltending, it's been rough. And as well as that, Seattle Kraken forward Yanni Gourde has been placed on COVID protocol. Now, that being said, we'll move on to the fines here. Toronto's Wayne Simmons has been fined $2,250 for cross-checking. You'll see a lot of these suspensions being involved with that Jets-Leafs game, which was just a brutal game all around. These teams don't play till April, so it's probably going to die down. Winnipeg's Neil Pionk was suspended 2 games for kneeing. I can't remember what exactly the suspension was or what he got suspended for. I can remember the Spezza one. We'll get into the Spezza one in a second here. Carolina Hurricanes' Ian Cole was fined $5,000 for kneeing. And then, of course, Toronto's Jason Spezza was suspended 6 games. The NHLPA also appealed the suspension. I thought it was a pretty rough hit from Spezza. Although I didn't really think it should be 6 games. Although it was an in-person hearing, I was like, yeah, it should be 5 games at the minimum. To be honest with you, I feel like it probably could have been 3 to 4, if I'm being honest. But I know Leafs fans are going to attack me in the comments section below for that. But obviously the NHLPA was not okay with that, and they appealed it. So, I mean, that suspension is going to be lifted pretty quickly. I think Toronto has already played half of it, and I think they play again tonight. So, I mean, there's really no point of appealing it because the games are just going to go by fast for Toronto, in all honesty. And, I mean, Spezza, it's a hit to Toronto, but it's not a big hit to Toronto, if you know what I'm saying there. Moving on here to the waivers that have happened this week. Florida Panthers' Kevin Connauton was placed on waivers. He was claimed by the Philadelphia Flyers. So Kevin Connauton, a solid defenseman there. I think with Philly's defensive injury options, that'll be a good pickup for them. Winnipeg's Riley Nash has been placed on waivers. Nash has not been good this season, but he was claimed by Tampa Bay, so that's some good depth acquired by Tampa there, I guess. CBJ's Scott Harrington was placed on waivers. He cleared. Edmonton's Brendan Perlini, who had a good preseason, but it's kind of been mediocre so far through the past couple months. He's also cleared waivers. And then there was a termination. The New York Islanders decided to mutually terminate Anatoly Galishev's contract. Galishev, a minor league player there, so it's not really that big of a deal. Michael Del Zotto was also waived. We'll talk about him more tomorrow with our rumor time because there is some stuff we need to get into there. And Del Zotto has been cleared. So those are your waivers. And, I mean, it's not really that big of a topic, so we can just skid right through those. Moving on here to your signings and trades and loans. I'll put loans in this column as well. The San Jose Sharks signed Brendan Coe to a 3-year entry-level contract. Not a bad player. The Charlotte Checkers signed Devon Dubnyk to a PTO. Dubnyk, former goalie for the Sharks, the Oilers, the Avalanche, and I think the Sharks as well. I might have said Sharks already. The Wild, my bad. I meant to say the Wild instead of the Sharks at the end there. So, I mean, Dubnyk's been bouncing around the league a lot in the NHL. Maybe getting him a minor league contract could really help him out, maybe to shape his career and maybe turn it in the right direction. And as I mentioned before, the tandem for the St. Louis Blues is Husso and John Gillies, who just signed a 1-year deal with the St. Louis Blues. The average annual value has been disclosed. Gillies, I think, is coming from Province, which I think is the Boston Bruins affiliate, if I'm not mistaken. So that's an interesting contract there. Moving on to the second page here. Tampa Bay has signed Roman Schmidt to a 2-year ELC, so not a bad contract there. Regarding loans, New Jersey Devils have loaned Alexander Holtz to the World Junior Championships, and the Winnipeg Jets have also loaned Cole Perfetti to the World Junior Championships. So the loans are basically just for World Juniors, nothing big there. And then we can get into the trade that happened this week. So I didn't cover the trade because I didn't think it was that big of a trade to cover. Although it was Toronto, I probably could have gotten like 300 views for it because Toronto gets me views. I mean, rightfully so, like every other YouTuber gets views because it's Toronto. But anyways, the trade was between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Forward Curtis Gabriel, pretty much a depth forward, hasn't really played too much for Toronto this season. If he hasn't really played that much or hasn't really put up the points. So he's been dealt to Chicago. Going back the other way is defenseman Chad Kurz, so not that big of a deal there. If I was to pick a winner, it'd honestly be Chicago because I think Curtis Gabriel's still a pretty solid. He brings the physicality definitely to Toronto, but I don't think he's really that big of a player when you look at it. So that's it for the basic stuff there. We can move on to the other news. We got a lot of other news here. I thought I'd put down some stuff that's like, not that big so we can scroll through it. And then there's some big stuff here that could be a big discussion. So the Staples Center lettering has been removed. Obviously, the Staples Center has a new brand. I can't remember it, but I think it's really stupid. I feel like they should stay with Staples because Staples is lit. I use Staples every single day of my life. I don't use whatever they use now. It's some weird thing. I forget what it's called, but it's so weird. Nashville. Their Twitter account is getting flamed right now, and I figured that with, the way the world is now and the way, like, Twitter is now, I feel like something like this would come up at some point. Somebody said, like, their name rhymes with Trashville, and then they, like, tagged the Predators, and the Preds said, we know that someone from Detroit didn't just say this, and people are pointing it out as racist, so they're getting flamed for it. I'm not going to post my opinion. I'm just posting the news for it, so, I mean, there you go. The Sabres-Ducks game attendance was at 8,133 the other night. Also, of course, we'll get into this conversation too. John Tortorella, he was not okay with the Trevor Zegras pass. I thought it was cool. I thought it was all right. So Tortorella said that, like, oh, if you did that in the 90s and 2000s, you get your head chopped off. And, I mean, that's true. The way the game is formed now, it's gotten less physical, which, I mean, is that good for the game or is that bad for the game? It really depends on how you look at it. So, to be honest with you, I'm not sure how you want to look at it. It depends on what you think of the goal itself. I thought it was all right. I mean, it's a good goal. I mean, sure, it affects the game physically. If you're a guy who's into the fighting and stuff, that does affect it. So, you know, anyways. Moving on here. There is a sliver of possibility that Jake Eichel will be available for the Olympics. That's a big thing. It's a sliver of possibility. It's a sliver. It's not a big possibility. It's probably not going to happen, but it is a sliver of possibility. So we'll just leave that there. Ryan Strohm contract discussions have begun with the New York Rangers. Strohm, obviously, he's been all right this season. I haven't really seen too much from him. He's looked pretty good. So I'm looking probably like a 5-year, 5x5, honestly, I'd probably give him. He's probably going to want more than that because, you know, everyone wants more money nowadays. Let's look into the Coyotes tax-paying situation. All right, so me being a Coyotes fan, okay, people know that I'm a Coyotes fan. My personal opinion on this is, well, pay the taxes. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't pay the taxes. And, like, they ask why, like, oh, why does Gila River want us out? Like, why is all this controversy? Why does everyone want us moving? Look, that is why. Because we have such corrupt management. Like, we need a new owner. And I don't care if it's out of Arizona. I want a new owner. I genuinely want a new owner. I feel like this guy cares too much about money and not about the actual team. And I feel like that's what it is at this point. I feel like that's what it is with my Flyers, too. Like, I feel like that's all people care about at this point is money. Now, they're saying this taxing thing is a human error, which is BS. You don't accidentally not pay $2 million in taxes. And I'm pretty sure it was $2 million. It's just all corrupt. And then I look back at what happened last February with the Katie Strand. I think it was Katie Strand. She made the article talking about how corrupt the Arizona management is and all this stuff. And I don't disagree with that. I feel like it is just, yeah, whatever. We'll just move on. Dre Barone, I might have butchered that name, is the first publicly gay AHL referee. You love to see that. That's a good thing there. The Rangers have called up Keith Kincaid. That's interesting there. They called up Adam Huska. Huska has not worked out. I think in that game they got blown out by the Avalanche. The Avalanche have been on fire lately. They've scored 21 goals in the past 3 games. The Avalanche have been rolling. So I think right now their goaltending team until Shesterkin comes back is Georgiev and Kincaid. And I've heard a lot of controversy saying that the Rangers might move on from Georgiev. I'm not too sure where that stands, but we'll move on from that. NHL 2022 update. Yeah, they added the IIHF World Juniors. They added Olympic stuff. I like that. That's pretty cool. They also added roster sharing. Some people are really stupid when it comes to their rosters, but I think that it's good it's good. Obviously, I can download KHL rosters now. Once I finish my roster and publish it out to the public, people can download my personal roster. So there you go. I mean, it's a good roster update. I heard that the women's hockey is going to be coming in January, which I think would actually be fun. I'd enjoy doing that, especially since I have a little crush on Hillary Knight. The NHL doesn't want to send players to the Olympics. Speaking of the Olympics, look, I get why, because right now with the new COVID variant, there's some weird stuff going on in China. I can't even, apparently, this one girl got, sexually harassed by, a Chinese, government official, and now she's just gone. She's gone off the planet. So it's rightfully so that the NHL is considering not going to the Olympics, which I don't blame them, but I think they're going to anyways. I'm not sure what's going on there. Bettman plans on being commissioner for a long time. All right, depends on how you like Gary Bettman. Some people don't like Gary Bettman. Some people like Gary Bettman. Some people don't like Gary Bettman because of the allegations that happened with Chicago back in I want to say it's actually been a month ago. It doesn't feel like a month ago, but since they were announced, it feels like it's been last week. Time has flown. Here's something strange. The Flames are launching NFTs on December 15th. I was my mind was what? I don't even know what NFTs are, and I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I have no clue what NFTs are. So if you know what NFTs are, please let me know in the comments below, because I don't got a clue. Also, one of the second to last thing here, you can vote for the All-Star games now. You can vote for the players that go into the All-Star games. I have not voted yet. I think I'm going to make a TikTok out of that. So, there you go. You can vote for the All-Star game on NHL.com. Should be on the front page. If not, I'll probably provide a link with it down below. As well as that, the final thing here that I have, Anthony Beauvillier is a healthy scratch tonight for the New York Islanders. So the Islanders are obviously trying to send a clear message out to their players that they are not tolerating the losing that they've been suffering as of late. So I think it's rightfully so. But I mean, there you go. So anyways, that's it for this video. That's it for our news time for this week. Tomorrow will be a rumor time. We'll talk about rumors regarding trades, signings, and a bunch of other stuff. So thank you all for watching. For Ice Porsley, I really do appreciate it. If you can subscribe, that would be great. And I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.